everybody. If you were not able to join us in our roadside chapel building today for RC Kidz Jr., I just wanted to check in with you and let you know what we learned about today so that you don't miss anything. So we have been learning about King Saul and his son Prince Jonathan. And we learned that Saul didn't have very much faith, and because of that he had a lot of problems. He wasn't confident, he was sad, he was angry, he lost battles, he didn't have good victories. He had a lot of problems because he just had a hard time having faith and trusting what God told him and God's promises, and that God would take care of him. And then last week we learned about Prince Jonathan, and we learned that Jonathan did have faith in God, and because of that he had great victories, and he was joyful, and he was able to help David, and he was able to do a lot of good things in his life because he had faith in God. Today we are going to learn about King David. Are you guys ready to learn that story? All right. So Miss Sierra taught us this story this morning in Kids Church, and our kids got to act it out and be some of the brothers and be David and be Samuel. I'm going to read it to you from our Bible that we use, the Beginner's Bible. And if you don't have one, let me know. I'll make sure we get one to you. Okay, you ready? This story in this Bible is called A Good Heart. Saul was a good king for about 20 years, and then he began to disobey God. God was sorry that Saul was king, and Samuel was sad about it too. Do you remember Samuel? He was the last prophet, the last judge of Israel before they started having kings. And he was the one who helped Saul become the first king. God sent Samuel to a man named Jesse to find the new king for Israel. When Samuel met Jesse, he said, "I would like to meet your sons." When Samuel saw Jesse's sons, he thought, these are strong, good-looking men. Do you remember when we learned about Saul? We learned that he was tall and strong, and he seemed courageous, and everybody was so excited that he was going to be king. He was so handsome. They said, wow, he looks great on the outside. I bet he's going to be a great king. But then we found out on the inside, he didn't have faith, he didn't have confidence, he wasn't very brave. He had a lot of problems on the inside in his heart. Okay. So Samuel saw Jesse's sons, and he thought, wow, they look great. God said, I do not look at the way people look on the outsides. I look inside at a person's heart. Samuel asked Jesse, do you have any other sons? Jesse said, yes, his name is David, but he's out in the field with the sheep. Samuel said, I want to see him, and we're not going to sit down until he arrives. As soon as David arrived, God told Samuel, he is the one I want to be the next king. Samuel anointed David. He poured oil on David's head, and David was filled with God's power from that day on. Did you hear anything that stuck out to you in that story? What did you notice? Samuel saw all those big, strong men. Jesse had 7 sons walk in front of Samuel, and each one Samuel said, that's not the one God picked. That's not the one God picked. Nope, not that one. And then he said, is this really all the sons you had? Because God sent me here to anoint one of your sons. And Jesse was like, well, I have one more, but he's just a shepherd boy. He's just a kid. He's nothing special. And they went and sent for him, and Samuel said, that one, David, he is the one. Not because of how he looks on the outside, but because God sees his heart. And God knows that in his heart, he is the next king. David was full of faith, and we're going to learn a lot of stories about David and his faith and his trust in God and all the amazing things he was able to do because of that trust and that faith he had. Miss Sierra showed us a pretty cool way of understanding this today. Do you see this? Do you know what this is? It's a ring pop. So delicious. Doesn't this look great on the outside? It looks like it's going to be a pink ring pop. Super sweet, super yummy. You get to wear it on your finger while you suck on it like a lollipop. Amazing! This is so yummy, so delicious. I can't wait to open it. What is it filled with on the inside? Ew! An old half-eaten bagel and an old slimy cucumber. It's filled with trash! On the outside, that looked really good. You know, a lot of times people, we see the outside of things, and that's what we judge on. But like our story today, God doesn't look at the outside appearance. God looks at the heart. Now, what about this bag that I'm going to show you? So that bag looks super fancy, super amazing. What about this bag, this clear bag? This looks pretty boring, right? It's just a Ziploc bag. But God can see what's inside of us. And not just what we look like on the outside. He made our outside. He made you just the way he wants you to look. But he sees what's inside. And that's what's most important. What's better, this bag or this bag? This one, right? This one is full of something delicious and good. And just like that, God, he sees you and he sees what you look like and how you talk and how you act on the outside. And that's all important. But know what's more important than that? How you are in the inside. What is your heart like? Are you kind? Do you have faith in God? Do you think about others first? Do you try to do your best and do the right thing? That's what's more important. More important than what we look like or how fancy our hair is or how our makeup looks or what kind of jewelry we wear or what kind of clothes we wear or what kind of car our parents drive. None of that really matters in the end. What really matters is what is your heart like? What are you on? What are you like on the inside? Are you stinky or are you delicious? What kind of qualities do you want to have inside? Let's try really hard this week to have good qualities in our heart, to think kind thoughts, to think about others, to pray and ask God for help, to trust and have faith in God, to put others first, to be honest and tell the truth, things like that. That's what really matters, what's in our heart, right? So, let's remember our Bible verse really quick. We have been learning Hebrews 11:1, and it says, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we cannot see. That means even if something we can't see, like we can't see Jesus, we can't see heaven, but we can still be sure of it. We can still be certain that it's there and still have faith and believe. Just like David, he couldn't see the future. He couldn't be sure that he was going to be king, right? Could he? He was. David trusted that promise that God gave him, that God said, you are going to be the next king of Israel. Even though that didn't make any sense. He was just a shepherd boy, but he said, okay, I trust you. And from that day on, he was filled with God's Holy Spirit and God's power because he had trust and faith in God. And you can have trust and faith too, and you can do amazing things when you believe what God tells you. We love you guys. We hope to see you next week. Bye!